like this. As the bullet is already touching the rifling, it does not move while the pressure is still low. And because it does not get a run at the rifling, as did the other bullets, it takes greatly increased pressure to force it into the rifling. And now, because the rapidly expanding gases find less room than they should have at this time in their burning, the pressure rise is both rapid and excessive. Velocity is also high at 3,650 feet per second, but at the expense of rather dangerous pressure. If your rifle delivers its best accuracy with the bullet just touching the rifling, as many do, you can safely seat your bullet this way, if you'll only remember to load a few grains less powder. This lighter load will still give you normal velocities without high pressure.
One thing that shooters maybe should keep in mind where they have a rifle that's, a couple thousand, maybe more rounds through it, if the throat's eroded out a little, that if they would seat their bullets out farther, that maybe it would increase the accuracy, at least for a while it should.
You know, many shooters assume the primer shoots its jet of flame only a half-inch or so into the powder charge. But actually, the primer flame penetrates the entire powder charge to the base of the bullet, igniting the whole charge instantaneously. The burning rate is determined by the chemical composition of the powder, the grain size, and the coating on the powder. If you doubt the ability of a primer to shoot its flame so far, look what happens when I fire a prime but empty case. Notice that I could not cock the hammer or turn the cylinder. That's because the primer has blasted out of the primer pocket tight against the recoil plate. I'll drive the case down over the primer, reseating it, which is exactly what happens when you fire a live cartridge.
It's remarkable the number of things that can affect the accuracy of a bullet. After firing, 50,000 test groups over the years, I think I've learned about all the tricks there is to hand loading for accuracy. But you still can't make a bad bullet shoot good. Well, not even in barrels, test barrels like this. Yesterday, for instance, press number 6 developed a couple of thousand play in the transfer feed. And this is a result, not like this.
Here we are, back to those vital thousandths and 10,000ths of an inch. No matter how perfect the basic design of the bullet may be, they aren't going to be consistently accurate unless we can make them all to closer tolerances than, say, a Rolls-Royce engine.
Perfect balance is probably the most critical factor in bullet accuracy. We must therefore, in all stages of our production, try to maintain almost perfect concentricity in our cups and in the jackets into which they are drawn. This is made an even more difficult problem by our need to internally shape the jacket to control expansion in our hunting bullets. If the jacket is not uniform around its entire circumference, even if it varies as little as 5/10,000ths of an inch, the finished bullet may be unbalanced enough to veer off its intended line of flight. Some animation may show why. The green dot represents the center of form of this bullet and is at its actual dimensional center. The red dot indicating the center of balance of this bullet should also be at the same exact spot. But because the jacket of this bullet has a thinner wall on one side, there is more lead there. And so it is heavier there, and the center of balance is moved ever so slightly in that direction, perhaps less than 1,000th of an inch. Immense care is taken to balance the crankshaft and moving parts of a Ferrari engine because it might be revved up to 9,000 RPM when the driver makes a spectacular takeoff. If we could rig a tachometer on that bullet as it exits a 10-inch twist barrel at 3,000 feet per second, what do you think it would read? 10,000 revolutions per minute? 20,000? Or as much as 50,000? Guess again. That bullet will be spinning over 200,000 revolutions per minute. That's why exact balance is so much of a concern to us. And varmint hunters, sheep hunters too, and maybe even elephant hunters. As long as the bullet is in the barrel, it rotates around its center of form. But when it leaves the barrel, it spins around its center of gravity. And this causes it to veer slightly off course at a tangent to the spiral described by its center of gravity as it went up the bore. Less than 0.005 of an inch error in jacket concentricity can and does have a detrimental effect upon a bullet's course. And because we cannot chamber each bullet with its center of gravity similarly aligned in the barrel, subsequent shots will diverge at arbitrary angles, slight though they may be. And so, we have a group with more dispersion than we would like.
But by mining all those 10,000ths of an inch and tenths of grains in all stages of production, we're able to make millions of bullets capable of exceptional accuracy in a variety of calibers, having expansion characteristics suitable for target, varmint, and big game hunting. Doing your shooting with super accurate and effective cartridges, which you yourself have loaded, not only provides more shooting for your money, but better shooting. Plus giving an invaluable sense of pride in your own craftsmanship. Like it says in the beginning of the loading manual, a shooter is his own man.